Hello, this video is going to help you think about and understand the age groups in the middle school ministry, preteens and young adolescents, and I'll unpack that for you. So, in our middle school ministry, it's 5th through 8th grade, but if you look at the development of the kids in this ministry, they fall into two categories. The first is grades 5 and 6, which we know as preteens. A lot of them are 10, 11, and 12 years old. And if you think about that age specifically, think back when you were that old. Think when you were in 5th grade or you were in 6th grade. What was life like for you? What was school like? What was family like? Were you involved in church? What was faith development like? What was going on in culture in the world around you? And while you're thinking about that, let you have a sneak peek into my world. This is Mike Sheely in 5th grade. Um, 5th grade, I was going to an elementary school. I had my first male teacher instead of female for a class. I didn't even know that was a possibility until that point. We were involved in the same church I'd kind of grown up in. My parents were married, and I had two younger brothers. And that was kind of life for me in 5th grade. If we talk about switching to 6th grade, I'm still in elementary school. Maybe some of you were already in a middle school or junior high or intermediate school. Maybe you were elementary school like me. I decided to go for a bright, bold yellow and white button-up shirt that year for school. But here's the deal. 6th grade meant I was learning how to play the saxophone and a part of band. That was something new. Also, on a negative side of something new, my parents got divorced that year. And so I was visiting my dad every other weekend and going through what a child goes through when they go through divorce. We quit going to church, probably at a time where I needed it the most. And it was my last year of elementary school, so getting ready for what was going to be coming in junior high. Think about what that was like for you. It might even be helpful if you look at our parent guide that we have a download link to in the description. We even give you some prompts to go through and write a few memories down to help you empathize, understand what your child's going through when they're 5th or 6th grade. We like to talk about ministry to this age group and parenting this age group as letting go and running alongside. It's like teaching a kid to ride a bike. You can't ride the bike for them if they're ever going to learn how to ride a bike. But you have to slowly let go to allow them more freedom and independence while still running alongside them and encouraging them, especially when they fall down, to get back up and keep going again. That metaphor works for life and for faith with preteens. Developmentally, they're moving from concrete to abstract thought, and they need some help to kind of navigate the world around them and to figure out and start making choices on their own. This is what I love when we do an event and we have to go somewhere to eat. It's the first time kids have to pick from a menu. And yes, most of their choices are chicken or beef, like burgers or chicken nuggets, but they've never ordered before. Like they've always had their parents ordering for them. And so we want to give them opportunities to learn. I wish there was a great book to tell you on preteens, but the best resource I can think of is from the entertainment world, from Pixar, the movie Inside Out. Riley, the main character in that movie, is 11, going on 12. And so she's right in that preteen world. And as you watch this film and see things through her eyes and what's happening in her brain, you will learn a lot of developmental stuff about preteens to be thinking about. So that's what I would encourage you with, if you haven't seen that movie recently, to watch it again with the eyes of a parent who's raising a kid Riley's age and thinking through how she sees the world, how she experiences it emotionally, to help you understand that preteen in your own home. And then we shift gears a little bit and go to 7th and 8th grade that are young adolescents or young teens, depending on how you frame that. And again, for you, what was life like at home, at school, at church, in pop culture, in sports, when you were 7th grade? For me, I went back to a t-shirt for the school photo. That was the year that my mom remarried, and so now I had a stepbrother, two stepbrothers and a stepdad, along with seeing my dad every other weekend and trying to navigate that. I was going to a senior high school, so I was at a new building, new classes, new teachers, new things are going on. I was involved with basketball, so a team sport for the very first time. I wasn't good, but I liked being on the team. We kind of checked out church a little bit again for the first time during my 7th grade year. Then if we turn the page to 8th grade, think about what that was like for you. That was the year that in school I was selling candy bars to raise money for our 8th grade DC trip. I went to a button-up polo style shirt for the school picture. I got plugged into a Christian church where I had a junior high Sunday school class, and Kathy Burgess showed me someone who was invested in junior high students and loved us, encouraged us, challenged us to know and follow Jesus and read the Bible. That made a big impact in my life, even in 8th grade. Began to discover Christian music and wasn't totally following Jesus yet, but this was a big year for me to begin that process. What was it like for you, and what's it like for your kids today? We sometimes, when we talk about parenting or ministering to middle school students and 7th and 8th graders, we talk about that as understanding and loving squirrels. They can be so excited one minute and then totally distracted the next. They can be focused and on track with you and what you're talking about, and then talking about something completely different. Emotionally, there's just so many hormones and things happening in their life during these couple of years. A lot of brain development changes. I highly recommend this book by a friend of mine, Mark Oestreicher, or Marco, wrote a book, Understanding Your Young Teen, Practical Wisdom for Parents. This is a section that he wrote out of a much larger book for youth ministers on ministering this age group that he's taken out and rewritten specifically for parents. And so if your child is in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, I really encourage you to grab a copy of this, read it. For sure, you'll have pages that you'll dog ear, that you'll highlight and make some notes. If you have questions, let me know. But we found this to be a very helpful resource for parents that are wanting to understand better their kids as they go through these middle school years. That's a quick glimpse down memory lane, and to remind you what middle schoolers are like so that you can know better how to navigate that with your child. And again, we've got more videos in this series if you want to know more about our ministry. Thanks for checking this out today.